Hey, this is Poseidon Powder here. This is the Boss Ns-2 Noise Suppressor. You have 3 knobs: threshold, decay, indication, and mute. So first we're going to go with mute. So right now, then turn it on, it's absolutely silent. Mutes it, tuning, stuff like that. So then you can turn it back off and it's still on the noise suppression. So let's turn it back to indication. So again, now it's off. As you can see, the red light is off. So first I'm going to play with some pedals I got around here, and you're going to hear it's going to make a lot of noise. So first I'm going to click on this fuzz here. You can hear that noise, and then alright, so now what I'm going to do is let's keep the threshold at about halfway, and we'll keep the decay at about halfway, and we'll turn it on with the fuzz again. So there's the fuzz without anything, and that's what it's on, half and half. As you can see, it does pretty good. It doesn't choke out the notes. I mean, a little bit, but that's also settings. So, alright, so let's turn both off now. Actually, let's keep the fuzz on. Alright, now let's keep the threshold at about 3/4 and the decay at about 1/4. So again, there's the noise. It's not on. So let's turn it on. So that'd be more if you're doing like chords. So my preference, especially with the fuzz, is I want the threshold at about halfway and the decay at a little bit between halfway and 1/4. Doesn't cut out the notes, doesn't cut out anything. So alright, so right now let's turn that off, turn the fuzz off. Now I'm going to go to the ME50, which is off the screen, and I'm going to turn on the distortion. I'm turn on the louder distortion. Alright, so you hear that noise? It's faint, but again, if you're in a concert, it's going to be loud. Any movement. So let's turn it on at my preference setting. And then I like it where there's that, like that split second after where it still has it, because then you can really get, like, you can hold out a note like a. So if they're sliding all together, it sounds natural, but if you stop, then it takes away the sound, which is something I like. Because, you know, if you're doing like, I don't know if any of you guys know Can't Explain, it goes. And if you were to have it threshold all the way up, which I can show you, and the decay all the way down, then it's going to cut out fast. And it chokes. That's why I like this at about half to about in between, and that also about in between. Probably almost closer to half. See, it doesn't cut out anything. So, let's see if I can find a really. Yeah, let's make a lot of sound. Turn this off. Turn on the fuzz. So as you can hear, let me turn that off. So as you can hear, I got a fuzz and a distortion with no noise suppression, and it sounds horrible. So let's turn on the noise suppression now. That's one thing about the fuzz though, the fuzz is quite loud. So let's find, that's pretty noisy. again, on my preference setting. So he doesn't cut out, and this red indicator here will light up when it starts to cut out. So as you can see, it has a little bit of flow. So again, this is the threshold. I have that at about half. I have the decay at about a little over a quarter, and again I have it on indication. So really, as you can see, this thing really takes away a lot of the noise. It's great because of it being a compact pedal. It has a return and send, which I run through the rest of my stuff. I put that input, but you don't want to use it as a noise gate. I've seen people use it as a noise gate where they just do the input output, and it's not as good. The best thing to do is input, output, return, and then send, or send, return. Even if it's just one pedal, it still is going to cut down the noise, unless you don't want that much noise suppression, which I do have one on the Boss ME50, which takes away the Boss's stuff. So both together really have enough where it's not cutting out any of the tone. Because I had a video, the other video, the one, and someone commented saying that they had noticed that the notes were choking, and that was because at the time I had this. And I'm going to explain to you now what those things are. So let me just hang up my guitar here and turn off my amp. Alright, the threshold is the actual noise suppression itself. It's like how long after, and the decay is again almost the same, but it's the time. Like that's just about how much, and that's the time, at least from what I've noticed. I mean, I'm not an expert, so, but the best thing to do is to keep that at about, I'd say about half. Again, unless it's a song, if you have time to bend down in the middle of a gig in between songs and you want to change it, but unless it's a song that's just straight choppy chords, you're really going to want that at about half, and this at about just between a quarter and half, to give you enough time to sound natural and without it cutting out pieces. Rate, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. Thank you, and hopefully there's some other videos. I might post some more on amps, keyboards, and whatnot. So, Side and Pouch is up.